When you have a vision for your business and your life and what you want to accomplish, don't feel the need to explain it in words to other people, especially people around you that you may have known all your life. They won't get it. And you need to understand that really, really early. And you need to understand that God gave you that vision. So the only one's going to understand it is Him and you. And even you won't understand it completely. You just kind of know how to get started. So just get that out of your mind, having other people to truly understand it. After you start taking action and making things happen, some things will fall in place and people will begin to see it. And you may have a group or a team that you're leading, and you will have to cast a vision in front of them to establish the culture, to get where you want to go. That's something totally different. I'm talking about getting approval from other people or permission to do what you need to do. True winners, true successful people, they could care less what other people think. So you want to be in that category when it comes to succeeding in life and growing your business. Have your vision crystal clear to you, and every day take action to make it happen and make it become reality. Bring it into fruition by taking consistent action and gaining the knowledge that you need to become very proficient at what it is that you do. And herein lies a major key to that. Number one is that mindset that I just explained to you, not getting permission and not seeking approval. Those two things are really important. That whole thought process. It's important that you don't get caught up in what people say and this need of having people approve of you. Don't even worry about any of that. The only ones who have to approve of what you are doing and what you're bringing to the marketplace is your ideal customer. And if you're solving a problem of theirs, you're providing a need that they have, and they're willing to give you money in exchange for solving that problem, then you are providing value and you deserve to be paid. So that's all you focus on when it comes to that. The other thing you need to focus on is action. Always be thinking about, what can I do today to move me further along the path to where I want to go? So it takes the mindset of having a vision that is uncompromising, that you don't have to explain to anybody else, and then taking action on that vision. Action is so much of the key. You have to think in terms of an exchange. Your exchange is consistent action over a phase of time, over a period of time. That's the thing you don't know. You don't know how long it's going to take, but over a period of time, in order for you to be shaped and molded into the person who, I want to say, deserves those rewards that you're going to be getting in exchange for all that work you put in. So that time frame is something that you can't necessarily predict. You don't know until you look back and you say, okay, that took me 6 months, 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't really even matter right now. That's what you can't focus on that time frame. What you focus on is getting better every day. And you do that by exchanging the work, by putting in the work. You got to have a sound work ethic. And that work ethic is not going to be, it's not going to be predicated upon those results, those lofty goals that you have set up high that you want to be hitting, and it seems like you're not hitting it. That's got to become irrelevant. That part doesn't matter. The part that matters is you're putting the reps in, and you're consistent in putting those reps in, and you will start to see glimpses of improvement. And that's what you hang your hat on. You hang your hat on that improvement that you are starting to see. Again, that too may not happen quickly. I know when I first started working out, only thing I really focused on was getting to the gym every single day. That's all I focused on. It's like I wanted to have these 2 feet be planted in that gym every day, and I'd be working out. Swipe my card, go through the front desk, change my clothes, go and work out, and do it every single day. I knew if I was doing that, the results that I wanted to happen would eventually come. So that's all I focused on. I didn't focus on getting new gym shorts. I didn't focus on getting new shoes. I didn't focus on having a really nice gym bag. I didn't focus on any of that. Actually, I had some gloves that I used to wear that I wore before when I was working out before, and I had those, and I was sweating those things so bad that they began to stink. And I tried to wash them, and I couldn't get them clean. And I kept thinking about my attitude and the drive that I had to get this done. I just took the gloves and threw them away. It's like, I don't even need them anymore. So now I got calluses all over my hands still. Hey, it is what it is. But my point is, I didn't have to have all these things in place. I didn't have to have everything line up, you know, all my ducks be in a row before I actually got started. And that's what trips most people up. So they don't even get started. So quite naturally, they're not going to get the results that they want. You want to be the type of person who takes action first, because nothing happens until you take action. You make a decision and you commit to that decision, and you have the discipline to do what it takes to stay on track and to realize the vision that you have cast before yourself. But that's where the discipline rolls in. And discipline is just simply remembering what you want and taking action to have it. You can't forget what it is that you want. And even on those days when you do kind of forget what you want, you should be working so hard, so consistent, that it's a habit. And even if you may have kind of forgotten what it is that you wanted, you're still going to get it because you're still taking action. That should become part of your muscle memory of taking those actions. You know, it just got to the point that I go to the gym every single day. I would go, just keep going, keep going, keep going. Then one day I think it was closed on Christmas, and then I knew I couldn't go that day. But you know what I did? I did like 100 push-ups. I just did a whole lot of stuff around the house that day to just keep that habit going of working out every day. And I say all that to say this. I knew that if I could get discipline in that area, then everything else would work out. It's just, there's something about getting fit. When you do that part of it, it kind of shows you that you can do a whole lot of other things as well if you just take that same approach. And that same approach means going at it consistently and not backing off because things kind of get in the way. In reality, things don't get in the way. They don't. You allow them to take a priority in your life. When you set a priority of doing something and then you start cultivating those habits to make it work for you, and then you stick to those habits no matter what, then the priorities start to align around that major habit that you have. And you keep holding that habit in front of you. You always keep doing that habit. Again, I think I said this in another video. I had a business mentor one time say, he said, set the goal and set your work habits, and then basically forget the goal and just do your work habits. And that's the consistency you need. You just need to be focused in on doing the work, taking action every day. And I think in our society today, it is so important to just gut it out and doing that work every day, even when it seems like nothing's working. Again, I've always spoken about sports a lot, like the superstars that I like, you know, Kobe, Michael, Tiger, Federer, Andre Agassi. I like all of these guys because they exemplify what I'm talking about. They're always working on their craft, getting better. Maybe one aspect of the game they may have a weakness at, or a hole in their game, so to speak. But they were always working on their strengths, getting better, and then eliminating that hole in their game, always. And when it came time, game time, whenever game time came along, they would just do what they did in practice. Like they have practiced a shot over and over and over again. So the only thing about being in the gym, making it happen during the game, was there was spectators around. There was a whole lot of people, but they made that shot over and over and over again to where it's automatic. And now they do it without thinking about it. And that's the way you have to be in your business. As an entrepreneur, you are the driver. You are the one who dictates the actions that you take on a daily basis. You decide that. There isn't a boss to do it. You do. Your customers shouldn't be doing it either. You should be deciding, hey, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna write that article today. I'm gonna send out that email today. I'm going to do that video today. You shouldn't be relying on your customer to pressure you to do this. Things like customer service, following up with your customer, all those different things. You do that because it's internal, it's inside, it's something that drives you. And goes right back to your vision. How do you see your business going? What is it that you want to see? What is it that you want to accomplish? Only you can answer that question. And then only you can live up to those standards. And that's the other thing. You have to have standards. The work habit and the work ethic, that's a part of your standards. You cannot miss your standards. No matter what happens, you got to hold your standards. I think it was Tony Robbins who said that if you ever want to change your life, raise your standards. So you, again, you dictate that. You establish your standards. And after a while, you don't have to explain those to anybody. They will know it. Your team, you may have to explain it to your team. You may have to, like I said, get that culture established within your business, but you should exemplify it. When you walk in a room, if you want everybody to be dressed a certain way, you should walk in that room dressed that way. After a while, they will understand, they will get it. This is the way we talk. This is the way we act. This is the way we dress. Why? Because that's the way our leader dresses. That's the way he talks. That's the way he acts. So when he's talking to us, telling us what we should do, he's just reinforcing what the standard is. So exemplify that, live that in the beginning when there's just you. And the other thing is, when things seem like they aren't working, they're working. They're just working within you. And your business will never outgrow your self-image. So it'll never get bigger than you feel like you are on the inside. And one of the best ways to cure that insecurity is work. Just work. Good old-fashioned work. Doing what it takes over and over and over again. And being consistent with that work. And doing it no matter what. Come rain or shine. I say that it's raining out here now. But come rain or shine, you show up and you put the work in. You punch the clock, even when you're not punching a clock for nobody else. You're punching it for yourself and your business. So you show up, you get it done. When nobody's looking, you still get it done. Because these action habits, they show up in moments when you really need results. Because you put the work in over and over and over again, you learn how to get results because you've grown and you gain skills. And those skills, they really show up in those times when you need them. And they will not show up. You will not get the results of gaining those skills. You will not get them without putting the work in. Everybody starts at a certain point in life, and they have to work, they have to perform, they have to grow in order to get where they want to go. That's what life is all about. There is a struggle, but the thing is, and suffering, there's suffering, but that's the unique thing about being a human being. You decide what that struggle is going to be, and if you don't, somebody else is going to decide for you, namely a boss. So being an entrepreneur, you pick the battles that you're going to have to fight, and they're determined by whatever it takes to get wherever it is you want to go. Try to learn your way through it by asking a lot of questions. It's one thing, good thing to have mentorship. I'll cover that a little bit later in the video, but it's a good thing to have a mentor. But it's even better when you put the work in and you take action, because then you give that person something to work with. But more importantly than that, you start to build confidence. You start to feel deserving of certain things that you're going to get or that you desire. And that's the only way you can get that feeling, is by putting the work in. So you want to be thinking in terms of always just doing what it takes to get better, and have an internal drive for that. And knowing that when you pay the price, you're going to be rewarded for it, regardless of what it looks like right now. No matter what it looks like right now, you are getting better and you are growing. And that is the key. You look at that more than you look at the outside results that you see or don't see. You know that you're growing on the inside, and the fruits of your labor, they're going to be major, and they're going to be the attributes that set you apart from everybody else. Because when you do put the work in, after a while it becomes undeniable. It's like that work compounds over time. And when somebody's dealing with you, whether it be a customer or a colleague or even one of your team members, they're going to know. They're going to look in your eyes and they're going to know They're going to know by the way you talk, your intonation, everything about you is going to say, he or she put the work in. They hold a lot of weight with me. They can persuade me easier than the guy down the street, because I know that this person's put that work in and the guy down the street hasn't. But this person in front of me right now, yeah, they've done it. I can tell. And you only get that from work, putting the work in, and develop a love for that. That's the part of the game that people try to shortcut, and they don't realize that that's the greatest aspect of the game, so to speak. Just knowing that the more work you put in and the better you are at what you do because you have put that work in, that's the thing that really drives you after a while. It's not the accolades, recognition, none of that. I mean, that's like a part of it all. The money, all of that, it's a part of it. But what really makes you feel good is the discipline that you put in to get where you at. It's something that you do, but you can't just do it one time and it's over. You got to do it for your whole life. Which brings me to another point. That feeling that you're going to arrive someday and everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be great. No, as long as we're on this earth, there will be challenges for us to overcome. But again, that's what makes life so good. It's overcoming those challenges, being better today than you were yesterday. So learn to love that. Learn to fall in love with that. Learn to fall in love with the doing the work that it takes to get better, and then seeing those results over time. Do not get to the point that you're discouraged because you don't see results. And then also when you get to a certain point, feeling like, man, is that all there is? No, you don't think like that. You keep thinking in terms of, okay, I hit the top of this mountain, so now I can see the peak of that other mountain. I'm gonna go hit that one. And I'm gonna use a lot of the knowledge and a lot of the work ethic that I use to get to this top, this peak, to get to that other peak. And therein lies so much of our fulfillment in life. We have to always have a goal, something that we're striving to do. We got to have growth in our life. We got to always be progressing and getting better. That's what makes us happy. It's not about arriving. It's not about kicking your feet up and being complacent, living off of past glories. That's really no fun. That's actually misery, because a lot of people, they'll get their biggest successes when they're in high school, like they win a state championship or something like that, and then they never do nothing else the rest of their life. But when you go around them, what are they talking about? Still talking about that state championship 20 years later. You know, it's like, what have you done since then? You know, and if you're outside person's asking that, you know they got to be asking themselves that. So you don't want to be that person. You want to be that person that's always striving for something better. You get a trophy, you get an accolade, you just sit it on the shelf, and hey, maybe that's something you sit back and look at one day after you retire, and let them all pile up. So now we'll move on to coaching and mentorship. That's vital. That's like the gas on the fire. That really sets everything off. It really does. But everybody's had a coach. I mean, you think about Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, all these guys, Kobe. But when you have a mentor can not only keep you on track, but they can speak to you from a perspective of having already been there before. They can tell you what you're going through and how to handle it, because they've already done that. They've already been through that struggle. And like walking through a minefield, they can tell you where all the pitfalls are and what to do to avoid them. And then when you get momentum, they can teach you how to keep that momentum going. They can help you collapse the time frame or the learning curve that it would take for you to get from where you are now to where you want to be, because they can teach you the things that they've learned and the things that they've done, and they could just transfer it to you, and then you could take on their experience rather than just relying on your own experience. And that in and of itself will cause you to grow faster and become a lot more excited. But you also have somebody you can relate to, and you won't feel so all alone as you're on this journey. But you're gonna feel alone too, which that's kind of what I was alluding to in the beginning. Sometimes when we seek approval and we seek permission and all those different things, it's just so that we can stay a part of the clique that we're in, or be good friends with the people that we're with, or just with our family, continue to fit in. But you don't need all that. You don't need all that at all. You need to go out and strive to be the best you can be in your field of endeavor, whatever that may be. And like I said, I'm talking about entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is a lonely game. It's very lonely. When you're in a business, you don't really have colleagues. You don't really have people who are on that exact same level that you are. Because if they're on your team, you're the leader. And if they're in another business, it's still not the same because they got a different business. And even if they're in your business, it's still not the same because you're two different people. And your struggle may not be the other person's struggle. Your struggle is unique to you. So your victories are unique to you as well. So you're alone a lot, but you learn to love it. You learn to really like that, being in that solitude to the point that you almost crave it. I know there was times when I first started in business, I would be used to, you know, the holidays coming and boom, 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 you know, you're gonna get off of work and, you know, you may be off 3 days, 3 or 4 days, whatever. It got to a point when I got in business for myself and I really started liking things, I got to where I dreaded holidays coming. Like I didn't want to take off. And not only that, I scheduled my life and designed my life around working on weekends. If I was gonna take a day off, it would be a Monday or Tuesday because I knew that's when other people would be working. And I know when I go out, if I'm taking off on those 2 days, I was gonna feel like I had all these places to myself. I was going to a restaurant, there wouldn't be like maybe 2 other people in there at like, you know, two in the afternoon. It shouldn't be anybody else in there, whereas on the weekends, they'd still be packed, you know? So I started to live my lifestyle around that as well, so kind of unconventional. So that's a lot of the reasons why you go into business. You want to be able to live life on your own terms. So you gotta remember that. Just know that your vision is your vision, and it's not something you need to explain to everybody else. Do that in action, not in words. Till the next time, have a great day, and we'll talk soon.